Hello, I'm Grace Bubeck, and this is the closing session of the Awakening as Love retreat. Welcome to you all, and I just want to say this is really a session in which all of you can come in and join. There are no restrictions except that your mics are muted as you. And I'd like to start with a little few minutes of just going in meditation, just to take note of what the fullness of this retreat. There's been so much, so many different teachers, so many different flavors and ways of seeing, of perceiving. And it all comes together in this, just in this amazing, I like using the image of a bouquet. It's like a bouquet of offerings of different teachers, offerings of different questions that elicit answers, offerings of people who came on to the hangout to share their experience, to really be as nakedly present with their questions, with their being, to all of us. That's such a gift that you give to all of us. But this presence that's just willing to be there with whatever arises as a question, as an experience. And so there is this fullness, and I just with that, just close your eyes and allow, feel that fullness. It's very vibrant in myself. I expect it to be quite vibrant in you also, especially if you've been participating in most sessions. So as you're present to that fullness, there's also just that which is present. And it's very simply present. It just is. There's the manifold, the fullness, and there is a spacious presence in which all of this manifold fullness is perceived. That holds it all. And we can be awake to both the fullness and the emptiness, spaciousness. we can realize that we are both form and formless. Human and divine. And awakening as love means embracing the fullness and the emptiness. Trusting both. Trusting both the formless that we are and also the form that our life takes, the way it unfolds over time. Trusting even the way the awakening unfolds over time. And resting in that trust, resting deeply. Allowing the mind that wants to doubt or that wants to come up with a program or with distinctions. Allowing the mind to fall into the heart that simply says yes, yes. A heart that says yes, innocently, because it has never been touched by anything. Itself to be pure being, knows itself to be life. So when you're ready, And open your eyes to the shared experience of the manifold people who are on this call. And please do feel free to come onto the Hangout or to share on the YouTube thread. There's no space. So I'm just going to look at what people have been sharing on the YouTube thread. Thank you for appreciating this offering. Thank you for appreciating just how love has expressed in this retreat, through this retreat. Brooke has a question. When speaking of the self and not attaching to anyone or anything, how do you not become attached and those that you love and have love and caring feelings? Just read that out again. When speaking of the self and not attaching to anyone or anything, how do you not become attached to that and those that you love and have love and caring feelings for, I imagine? Excuse me. So, Brooke, as I sense into this, what I hear you asking about is it's about the truth that expresses it as love in a very pure way. The truth of being that is love. And then how is that lived in actual human relationships, in relationships with people that we love in this human way and that we care for, that we care about? It's such a big topic. And my sense is that actually what happens is that love is in those relationships as well. You know, as awareness comes into these relationships, somehow the love in the relationship gets maybe not purified, but it changes in the light of that awareness. You know, love can have a lot of attachments to it. Emotional love, you know, has attachments. It's like, I love you if you're like this. You know, there's a conditionality to it. I love you if you don't hurt me. I love you as long as, you know, you're on my side. Things like that. And so I'll just share with you in my own life, how basically, that there were well, actually all my relationships um, have increasingly called me to be true to love instead of to be true to my conditions, um, to my attachments, to my idea of what I wanted and what I needed to get in this relationship. And so that refers to friendships, that refers to my relationships with my sisters, with my parents, um, to relationships with partners. And somehow there just always seemed to be this choice of holding on to what I wanted, holding on to a sense of hurt because I hadn't gotten what I wanted, or the other person had done something that I felt was painful. So at this emotional level, there was a lot going on, and there was a lot of attachment in all those relationships. I mean, they're messy, they're messy to start with. But as somehow there was more of an awareness of truth, of love, there kept being this choice between staying in the attachment, holding on to the ideas that I had about myself and about the other, holding on to ideas about how the other had to change, what they had to do, or just being willing to be open to what presented, and the other being the way they were, having done what they did, or doing what they did, and finding it in myself to be open to that, to make peace with that, to just allow that to be as it were, and to see that if I could do that, then I could be true to love with a capital L. Because love really truly never wants anything. It just appreciates what is. It embraces what is. And that includes embracing our own human needs and fragility. So it may include saying to the other person, look, I really find this difficult, what you're doing. But without trying to impose conditions or control the other, just being very clear about how that feels here. And without wanting or needing to change that, just being willing to be, sometimes it's called transparency, just being willing to be fully transparent with what is here, even at that human level. And in that, somehow the relationship changes from being very sticky to becoming less and less sticky. Like, I can truly say that my relationship to my parents transformed a lot. Relationship with friends, with my sisters, everything. And in all of this, it's like all of this becomes the fertile in which love can grow forth more fully as what it is truly, which is just a movement to embrace the beauty and the being of what is there, or the mystery of what is there. That plays out in the other, in oneself, how it plays out in the interaction between other and self, how that manifests, how that changes over time. And there's so much more peace that comes into relationships that way. And in a sense of just a sense of isness, just a sense of this is what is. This is how this human life somehow is lived in relation to others. And also there's more of a freshness in those relationships. There's less of a, oh, you always do this, like, why can't you change? There's an openness to whatever shows up. And because there is this openness, actually the other is free to show up differently. If there's an expectation that the other always does this, they're likely to continue doing this, whatever it is that disturbs you, whatever is hurtful. But when there's an openness, a true openness to whatever turns up, interestingly enough, it may turn out to be quite different, or to do something quite different from what they're usually doing. So it brings a freshness and an aliveness to those relationships, to those very human relationships. That is quite beautiful. Yeah. Is the Google chat open? Yes, absolutely. Sorry, Google chat, you mean a Google Hangout? You're very welcome to come on to the Hangout. Yes, yes. I thought I'd said that already. So you're very welcome to join me there. The only thing that I is the Google Plus page where this Hangout is airing, just because it's too much. I can't follow too many things. So you can either comment on the YouTube thread, comment thread, the comment thread of the live broadcast, or you can come on to it with the link that I've given out. Says, thank you so much for this retreat, Grace. I am so grateful. Feel such a deep silence. A storm brews outside here in England. It's a bit like what we've been talking about. But yes, isn't it beautiful that there can be a storm brewing outside, and there can be such deep silence at the same time. So, Brooke, I'm not sure what you're saying. You're on the YouTube chat, comment thread. That's what you're on. So please feel free to share what you would like to share. And Margarita Maria says, love is in love with itself. Thank you, Grace, for the opportunity. this weekend. Oh, thank you for appreciating so deeply. Thank you also to I Am Now, to Matilda, Gardens and Desert, Wendy, Jenna, Maureen. Yeah, thank you for appreciating. So, it's been a very long, very full retreat, and it looks as if people are maybe just complete with this experience. And that's totally fine by me. I feel very complete myself. I have no need to add anything to this in addition to what it's already been. So I will just thank you. Oh, Bernard says, just passing through. Thanks, Grace. Thank you. Thank you, Bernard. Good to connect this way. Yeah. So this is your last call. If you want to come onto the Google Hangout, you'll have to do it now. Yeah, looks like that's it. So thank you to you for your very active participation. I'm so very happy that the hangout, the live questions with people coming onto the hangout, that they worked so well. I just had a very clear inner movement that said it's time to do this, and I'm so glad I did. It really made this retreat come alive in a new way, and I know a lot of you that also. So who knows where this will take us next? We'll see about that. I'm just seeing Bridget Williamson says, thank you, Grace, for the wonderful retreat, especially Muji. It was beautiful. Thank you again. Says, yes, she's complete. And Matilda says she feels attached to this retreat. Well, that's coming to an end too. It's part of what arises, what is there, and what comes to an end. And in all of this, you are there, eternal. And I bow to that. I bow to that in you. However it shows up in you, I bow to it in everything. So thank you for your beautiful presence. And who knows, we may see each other again soon. And feel free to be in touch if you'd like to. I'm open to receiving donations for this retreat. It has been a lot of work. It's also a joy to do this. And, at the same time, I appreciate some material support if you can give that. I'll probably send a message round about that too. So, and may this retreat support you in a way as love, as truth, and also in deepening into that realization in your very life, however that shows up, however, whatever that manifests as, that is part of it. And may you come to trust that unfolding. May you come to trust that as part of the unfolding of love, the unfolding of truth, of life. Namaste. Thank you to you, and wishing you so well in your continuing, deepening, unfolding of your realization. Bye-bye.